Alright, welcome to the second episode of Frackit with Jaywolfzero and
Salmations.
Kira Mark 2.
Rahan 20.
Okay, this week we are talking about comic books for once. Last week we went off on a bit of a tangent, so try and rein it in a little.
Yeah.
As for last week, we'll go around the room, favourite comic books, favourite artists, and in general what you like about them. So, any volunteers to start? I'll pick one of these out.
I wouldn't say I've got favourite artists because even though I'm like the comics, I don't have as many. So you'd say the regular ones which are like Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, all the basic superheroes. Yeah.
Do you have a favourite company now?
It'd be Marvel.
Marvel.
But I'd say that I have started to read zombie comics.
Oh.
So I've got like a big massive book. It's about, I don't know, what is it, like 40 short stories all based on zombies. Yeah.
Left 4 Dead one.
Alright then, so Left 4 Dead, favourite comics?
I wouldn't know for zombies one, it's just a mixture. I've just bought loads of comics that feature zombies in it, so I'm not fussed.
Comics or zombies, Kieran? I know
my favourite comic probably Watchmen. Just because
by Alan Moore and what's the other dude's name?
Dave Gibson.
Dave Gibson. Nice one. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah, it's based on the style of it and the way that it's so many genres of comics within one. I mean, you've got romance between
Night Owl and Silk Spectre, is it?
yeah, and you've got the comedians like the sadistic bastard.
The thing about the comedian I've always said, in the comic and the film,
Yeah.
he's a character you don't want to like, but end up liking at the end.
You do end up liking him, yeah,
always end up liking
because even though he's like I said, he's a sadistic little bastard.
Yeah, well, what he does, he tries to rape someone, shoots a pregnant woman, he does quite a bit of bad stuff.
It's a bit of grim, but in the end, well, not in the end, at the start where he's shoved out the window, you feel pretty sorry for him, because he's the comedian, he's like the one that comes out all guns blazing, and then you've got some like ninja masked dude that just like shoves him out the window, and that's it, he's done.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's like saying, his time's up for him now. The Watchmen are over, and the catchphrase, which is who watches the Watchmen. It's exactly the point. Who is watching the Watchmen?
The one thing I love about the comedian character especially is it's the way you see him at the start, it's like, oh, he's dead.
Yeah.
And you just see the nuggets of his life, it's like,
Yeah, it's like,
he's my favourite character in it.
Yeah.
Just because of the story it tells you.
Yeah.
And he actually reminds me quite a bit of the Joker, in the fact that he got the joke before everyone else.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the kind of thing that they try and get rid of, because if you think about it, you've got a sort of like Batman with Night Owl, and you've got sort of like Catwoman.
Here's a whole thing on the Watchmen, and Rian might know this. Alan Moore was originally going to do it on the old, was it the Charlton comics, where you had The Question, Blue Beetle, and there was a couple of others, and it was all based on existing comic book characters, and he did it based off them. But DC wanted to use the Charlton, which said recently acquired, so they said do some new characters, and they're all paper plates of these old characters they did. Like the creator of The Question was Steve Ditko, and Alan Moore once said, Steve Ditko once said, oh, he's like The Question but insane.
Right.
And they're exactly the same character.
Yeah.
Alright, favourite company?
I'd probably have to say either DC or Marvel, without a doubt, just because even though all of the characters are mainly male, it's just so...
Mainly DC, really. You do have quite a few good ones in Marvel, but we'll get on to that.
It's just like, it's pure masculinity. It's like, you want to be that man because he can fling webs out of his arms, or he can throw bloody back-shaped shuriken type thing. it's just the bonkers off the wall stuff that makes you think, it's good stuff, good stuff.
Alright then, Rian?
My favourite writer, Alan Moore. Favourite artist, Brian Boland.
Brian Boland. Was he the one who did Killing Joke?
Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Did some work on 2000 AD. I just like the way his drawings are so kind of realistic. I love it, line work and everything. And I saw like a YouTube video of him talking about his work in America on like a Comic-Con panel, and him just showing this drawing that he did of the Joker that he did on an aeroplane. It was just spot on. You think he'd done it with like loads of brushes. So the guy turns around and says he did it with a biro, whilst like just really just there he did it, and it's just fantastic. And it's just blew my mind that somebody could draw that immaculately without any kind of rulers or any kind of.
Very naturally gifted, and I hate people like that.
Oh, yeah,
Guys that just get it like
yeah.
that. It's insane.
Some people have put like,
It's hard to draw somewhere that you really want, and then you just see someone next to you like, oh, I would do it like that.
I will draw a perfect circle.
I do it for memory. Like, what are they drawing?
Yeah, it's kind of inspiring because I'd like to dabble with Comic-Con in the future, and I like looking at stuff that's kind of like seeing people like Brian Bolling very natural. It gives you kind of a kind of drive to strive and do better, because back then they had to really try their hardest to get everything look spectacular, because back then they didn't have computers, they didn't have editing software, so they had to just kind of rely on their natural instincts and stuff like that, and it's quite inspiring. Another artist I really like is a mashup between Brian Bolland and another underground artist called Robert Crumb.
Robert Crumb?
Yeah, he did quite a few controversial.
Was it the rabbit he did?
I think it was. It's done a lot of kind of anthropomorphic style characters, but he did a cartoon cat called Fritz the Cat, and he did the early American Splendors, which I know for. American Splendor was this autobiographical comic book by a guy called Harvey Peacock, who passed away a couple of years ago, and it's basically about this guy, Harvey Peacock, who's living in Cleveland, Ohio, and his everyday life and getting into car trouble and stuff like that. And what I really loved about that is how kind of unedited it felt, how kind of like at the moment it felt there was no sugarcoat.
There's no polish.
Yeah, there's a film actually based on the American Splendors comic books, which I recommend because there's quite a good use of animation as well in there, and it's got a great storyline. It's very inspiring.
Favourite company, if you've got one?
I don't really have one, but if it's between the classic clash of Marvel versus DC, I think I'd have to say DC.
Ooh, that's a very strange one, because
everyone says Marvel.
Everyone does say Marvel, and there's some very good reasons behind that, but I've never had anyone or had a conversation with anyone who said DC. Never. Everyone I grew up with reading comics, it was always Marvel.
Yeah.
And I dabble in DC, I've tried to get more into it, but it's always been Marvel. And I guess that brings me on to me. Alright, my favourite writer, Grant Morrison. He did, but he's done a shit ton of stuff, but my most favourite stuff is the run on X-Men he had. He did X-Men from 2000 to 2003 with a full run. It's called New X-Men.
Yeah.
And they've done away with the spandex, done away with all that, the leather suits, very realistic. Now, Grant Morrison's known for his insane stories.
Yeah.
Like, let's say he dabbles in different things.
Right.
So he's very psychedelic, but this was his first real grounded work. It was very realistic and very suited for the X-Men. Favourite artist, probably Frank Whiteley, worked with Grant Morrison quite a lot, did quite a few issues of New X-Men. The only problem with that is New X-Men is so scattered, there's so many different artists coming in. So you have Frank Whiteley on one issue, and literally the next issue of the same book, you have a different artist. It's really scattered, but he did the Invisibles, they did with him as well. There's been a lot of different books. I think he's working on a Batman one with him at the minute. I'm not too sure about that. And the other best artist would be Jim Lee, but not current Jim Lee, not Batman era, I mean 90s. because I feel it's got really streamlined to look like everything else in the 90s. Not that big superhero films, like you have Superman looking extremely mushy like that. And quite like he crafted that and made it look big. He was very much like Jack Kirby in the way he could make scene movement and make characters look strong. And almost the look of superheroes comes from his version of the X-Men in the 90s. Because you look at Rogue, you look at all these characters they designed. Now it's commonplace to see Catwoman like that. If you look at Catwoman a few years ago, I mean, you've got the timid look, you've got all the different, she's smaller, more diminutive. Now she's like, boom, you know.
This is me.
Yeah, that's it. And definitely my favourite company is Marvel. Mainly because I started on DC. I read quite a few Batman books when I was about 6 or 7. And then I wanted a bit more oomph to my stories, and that's why I went on to Marvel, and it's just been Marvel ever since. But I've dabbled in Dark Horse, I enjoy some of their books. And that's it for me. Alright, who wants to lead the next question? Anyone?
Favourite comic book adaptation?
Ooh, that's fucking nice. That's an hard one. That's an hard one. Alright, well, I'll lead this one because I won't last. Okay, one, Watchmen.
That's a great one.
I love the Watchmen because I love the book, but the end to the film was so much better than the book. And I know Alan Moore's going to go, you're a cunt. But it's true, for the feel of the film, it suited a lot better. And I think that was one of the best adaptations. 300, another Zack Snyder. Perfect. I'm just trying to think on the more mainstream ones. I'll do one for DC. My favourite DC adaptation would be, obviously I've done the Watchmen and all that, but it would be Batman Returns. I feel Tim Burton got Batman. Got the spirit of it a lot more than the new ones. Because even though it's hyper-realistic and really cool, it's kind of like Batman is supposed to be big and superhero, it's not this wanker sat in a chair crying. You know? Batman broods, he doesn't sulk. Bit of a difference. For Marvel, it's very hard because I love the X-Men films. They dropped the ball on quite a few of them. So all I'm going to say about is any scene with Ian McKellen and Magneto is what I love about the X-Men franchise, because that, him, Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart, three best actors to roles in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. You got another adaptation that you said before that you like, Death Note.
Death Note, yeah.
The only
Going into a bit manga style,
Yeah, the only problem with that is the two versions of it. You've got the actual anime version of it, which is obviously in Japanese, which is the series, but then you've got the films. And the films, for me, the CGI that's used on like the Shinigamis, on Ryuk and Ren, it's just so piss poor, it's ridiculous.
You've got to remember the Japanese film industry for motion pictures is nothing, it's about the same as ours. The animation stuff is top notch, as in animated film, but their live action films isn't that great.
Yeah, but the CGI, you'd have thought that would have been
budget.
That would have been
budget
right
of the
up
film,
their
mate,
street,
that's all it is.
But yeah, that's definitely one of my favourite adaptations. I'd say Batman films as well.
The Nolan ones.
The old ones, I like the old ones as well. Batman Forever and
oh god.
Batman Forever.
That's the sore point. That's the sore point.
It's a guilty pleasure.
If anyone says Batman Robin's a guilty pleasure, you're leaving this podcast. See you later.
Batman and Robin was the shittest Batman film.
It's been voted so many times the worst Batman film. I think we can all agree that was the worst adaptation. Even the Adam West 1966 film was better than that. That was awesome. Any more adaptations? Comic books, I know you like the Watchmen adaptation, I've already mentioned
I watched that.
Yeah, I don't know, I have to debate you on the Watchmen.
Go for it, we're supposed to be doing it.
I don't
want everyone to
The thing is, I liked some of the stuff that Zack Snyder did with the film, in that he included the soundtrack, the Bob Dylan references and stuff like that, but at the end I just felt it didn't give me the same. Afterwards, I didn't have that same reaction as I did with the graphic novel. I didn't have that wow. It didn't have that. It didn't have that reaction like, oh my god, he had this master plan all along and he blew the whole entire city. It lacked the comics intelligence. That's all.
I've got one problem with the Watchmen film, and that's My Chemical Romance covering Bob Dylan's song. It just completely fucked it up.
At least it was only on the credits, it wasn't in the film.
Yeah, but, well, I was going to say most normal people, but some people have stayed to watch the credits to see, like, go on a bit of Google later and have a look at the Silk Spectre in a bit more detail, shall we say.
A bit more detail in that film. You don't need any more detail.
No, but that song, it just got trashed by My Chemical Romance, and yeah.
Yeah, you just sat in the this ruined my experience. I'm watching names to My Chemical Romance. I don't like this.
But with the film, I'll watch the credits.
Yeah, I understand what you mean with any time you're adapting Alan Moore though, you're gonna lose the punch of V. I love that film, but it didn't really pack a punch for me. And with it, you've got more intelligence and, you know, he's a fucking genius and whatever. But for an adaptation, you do have to make sacrifices. And one of the sacrifices was the alien invasion did not fit that film. If they would have put it in, it wouldn't have fit it.
Yeah, definitely.
And I thought he did the best what he could do with it, and I actually think it's better than the comic. But it's all opinion.
Yeah.
And that's what it should be. Alright, go on. Adaptions.
There's quite a few.
I've got no question after this. It's going to be a pretty good one.
There's quite, because like, you've got people like all the originals like Spider-Man, you've got Batman, you've got Superman, you've got all the basics, which is like, I would say better with comics. You get more from it, because with the films and all that, it's just like one simple thing.
Yeah.
With the comics, you've got endless amounts of storylines, details,
With
structure.
films, I think they should be used more as, not as, they should be one used to drive people to comics, not as single thing. And second, like, there should be those moments in them, like in X-Men 3, there's the moment where Magneto flips Wolverine over, and he's going to pull the adamantium out of him.
Yeah, because it looks like it.
He's
Yeah.
and he doesn't, but it's that
He just
like
pushes him back.
boy
Yeah.
moment where you're like, yeah, that's recognise that from the comic. That, I think that's what the film should be used for. And go and continue on with your adaptions.
You've got like Hulk. You'd say Kick-Ass as well.
Strengthen the Avengers. I think the whole Avengers series. That's a pretty good accomplishment, even though the films aren't too great. What we're not.
Iron Man. No.
Iron Man is.
No, it's a film.
And I do enjoy, but Mickey Rourke wasn't in it enough.
It's too playboyish.
I've seen the first one, but I want to see the second one just for Mickey Rourke.
I've seen the first and second. I'm contemplating about the third one.
I enjoy, with the Avengers, I enjoyed Iron Man 2, I thought that was good. I enjoyed 4, just for the spectacle of it.
Yeah.
Captain America, I was like, I don't like
I haven't
Captain
seen
America
that,
anyway, but I watched it just to get the story. The Incredible Hulk, you can't do a good Hulk film.
No, you can't.
He can't be the main character. Even though we got all these comics with Hulk as main character in a film, it doesn't work.
No.
It's been proved. In the TV series it does. TV series does quite
The
well.
first Hulk film was absolutely abysmal.
Yeah, Hulk.
It's just so poorly made on the budget that they had. The second one.
Then again, I've got a worse film than the Hulk.
Yeah.
The Green Lantern.
Oh.
200
Oh,
million
God.
that was made for.
Green Lantern, right? It's a shit film. The game is shit. That's slightly going on different
tangent.
But the game is just so piss poor, like the film, like the comic. Well, I can't really say the comic because I've only read snippets of it, but it's just totally wrong.
I was reading an Empire magazine and a woman sent in a letter about Green Lantern film, and she'd fallen asleep during halfway through, and she was snoring so loudly the entire audience was just laughing in kind of sympathy and kind of empathising with how she felt at that moment. So it's just like they weren't pissed off, because if it was during like the Dark Knight Rises or something, it'd all just kind of kill her, but
They'd wake her up, just like, stop.
Then again, with the Dark Knight Rises, I still think it's the best one in the trilogy. Of all three, I thought Dark Knight Rises was the best. The only thing is, it's with a title, it shouldn't have been called Dark Knight Rises. It should have been called Rocky 6 or 7. Because if you look at it, it's got the basic structure of a Rocky film.
Yeah.
It really has, and I was pissing myself watching it, like, I'm just waiting for when he's doing the press up, you know, you have that one type of recline, flying high now, I was waiting for it, but it never came.
Bane comes out, I pity the fool.
That's a cracking impression as well. Oh yeah, but Tom Hardy, Bane, fucking beautiful.
Yeah, everybody says the voice was ridiculous.
No.
If you say his voice is ridiculous, you won't watch it.
No, but his voice is ridiculous. I'm Batman. I have throat cancer.
Take a
When-
silver.
That's the one thing about Michael Keaton and Christian Bale. Christian Bale spends 3 films trying to make you scared of him. Michael Keaton does it in 1 line.
Yeah.
I'm Batman. And you shit yourself. Because this is a dude just stood there in a fucking rubber outfit going, I'm Batman. Yeah, of course you are, mate.
Yeah, okay, stay away from you tonight then.
With Christian Bale, you're like, do you want to answer?
Yeah.
Here's the question I was going to ask. Brand new film, such as the Avengers films have done, they are based off of things and the Nolan stuff, or proper adaptations like 300, Watchmen. Obviously, we're all alterations, but full adaptations. Because I've always been like that with it. With the Nolan films, my main problem with them is they mine so much from so many great comic books. Those great comic books can't be made as films outright. If you take Batman Year One, you can't make that anymore because it's in Batman Begins and The Dark Knight.
No.
But with like Watchmen, we're just adapting this, we're not adding anything else to it.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of thing from you with that.
Actually, there's a. I didn't mention my favourite adaptations, but there's a couple of underground comics that people don't even realise were based on comics. There's Road to Perdition,
Yeah, that was,
which
yeah.
was based on comic. And I've read the comic book, and it wasn't as good as the Tom Hanks film. It was the film added a lot more kind of a lot more depth to it than the comic had. The comic was just, it was very flat, and it didn't really emotionally engage you as the film did. And that's a great one where they put a different, might make it more
Yeah.
enjoyable, but
You take the source material and just throw them
and,
with it.
yeah, and another one's a Japanese film called Old Boy.
Oh, don't mention that film.
Oh, you
I
got mixed
had,
feelings.
I had that shoved down my throat by one of my mates. It's a great film ever, it's a great film ever. I watched it, it's an alright film, it's quite, the twists and turns in it, I'll admit, are great, but I was thrust on me so much, I'm like, it's not that good. That's just it, but yeah, but I didn't even know it was adapted from anything.
Yeah, it's based on a Japanese manga. It's like Notebook, but the ending was twisted to make it a bit more,
Twisted.
yeah, twisted.
Oh yeah, well I'm not a huge fan of all, but another one, History of Violence, that was based off a comic.
Yeah, it's a bit
Not,
better.
not bad film. Viggo Mortensen, worth a watch.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go on to another subject then. Let's have a bit of a nerdy debate. Favourite characters? Male and female, get one each. Okay, who hasn't started yet?
I'd say favourite character without a doubt, Jack Skellington.
That's
my
Comic book.
Jack Skellington.
Well, when you said favourite character, you were
We're doing a podcast about comics!
I know.
You just have to mention Tim Burton, here he comes with
Yes,
his
Burton's
there. Tim Burton. I've got a little story about that prick as well. I don't mind Tim Burton at all.
Is it the Kevin Smith story? Oh,
Fucking shit, you know it, shit man.
tell that story at the end. It's brilliant.
I'll tell it at the end, okay. Alright, well, favourite characters go.
But favourite character's comic.
Comic book,
Yes,
yes.
comic book wise.
Okay.
Them paper things that you read.
Yes, them paper things with
Them
pictures.
paper things you read.
Them paper things with pictures.
Yeah,
And a little bit of text.
yeah, not colouring books.
Oh.
Oh.
He's going to have a snowman with a carrot off his nose.
Yeah.
What's this? Alright, go on.
Okay, favourite cat. I'd say then Peter Parker.
Spider-Man, very good choice.
No, not Spider-Man, Peter Parker.
Spider-Man, same.
Well, no,
Yeah,
it's not the same favourite.
Spider-Man's his
It might be technical.
Spider-Man is identical.
Alright, Peter Parker then.
Because there's been various people who've done.
Yeah, anyone could put the costume
Leave
on.
Scarlet Spider out of this. And Miguel O'Hara as well, fuck him off. Peter Parker, Spider-Man, go.
Yeah, I just think he's good, like journalist and that. I'm a bit of like a blogger and all that, so I'd like relate to it, like with the constant
How would you be
update.
Spider-Man if you were a blogger? You just, oh, something's
Yeah,
happening. Oh,
yeah.
2 hours
You go to save the dead, you go, I just saved someone.
Yeah. Like, you spend 6 hours trying to get in that costume. These are a lot more practical, but yeah, Peter Parker. What main reasons for the journalistic side?
I'd say journalist, photography, how he started off as a geeky person and no one really respected him, and then he comes into like New York and like I won't say makes a name for himself, but he gets known throughout. I know people don't know that he's the Spider-Man part, But the Peter Parker side of it. Well,
Yeah.
Well,
Secret
about
Wars,
most people.
Not Secret Wars, Civil War, where he unmasked, finally. And then you had the Back in Black storyline, which is one you've got to read, that's a good book.
Yeah.
Well, with Peter Parker, it's the ordinary one, he's the first ordinary hero, because before that you didn't really have, you had Fantastic Four came before,
Yeah.
obviously. But with Batman and Superman, millionaire, alien, Wonder Woman, Amazon, take the top ones. Green Lantern, loser. Green Lantern. But with Spider-Man, he's just an ordinary person, he's Kieran in a mask. Anyone can be under that mask, as it's
Yeah,
or
yeah.
anyone can be Spider-Man. And it's the problems we face outside as you make the relation between Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Spider-Man doesn't really have that many problems of that.
No.
I've got to beat him.
Yeah.
Peter Parker's the one with the problems.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Mary Jane and Black Cat, which one do you pick? Black Cat.
Yeah.
What you do? Alright, female character. No. This shouldn't be an album, there's plenty of female characters.
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane, yeah.
We all like a bit of Mary Jane.
You get on Mary Jane.
Then you'd say Felicia then, because he's Black
Felicia Hardy,
Cat.
Black
Yeah.
Cat.
Oh, Felicia.
So yeah.
I'm sure.
I don't know Felicia from playing.
No, for Pepper Potts.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a receptionist.
I don't, yeah.
She was the original love interest in this
Yeah.
Nicola, so I like that. I like the chemistry of her being the receptionist and
Yeah.
comes in as a
Yeah.
baby.
Then again, Tony Stark is shagged everyone in the Marvel universe.
Well, yeah.
It's as simple as
Oh,
that.
right, okay.
You've got to remember, in the original run I said Pepper Potts, and then it was, who should I have now? And it looks
Yeah.
like every new writer brings him a new love interest, and it's like, alright, he's shagging her now, Spider-Woman, Miss
Does he
Marvel.
actually shag them? Because he loses them. He always loses them somehow.
I think he can. I think, he's a millionaire. For God's sake.
Yeah.
It's like Batman in the Justice League cartoon. You knew he was doing Wonder Woman behind the scenes. One shot in the cartoon, but you knew it. Alright, there's another tangent. Alright, so Pepper Potts. Hero?
Favourite female.
Are you doing female first?
Right, bear in mind I'm not 100% sure if it's been made into a comic book yet, but it is supposed to be in development. I'd say Lara Croft.
See, there have been plenty of Lara Croft comics anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they Dark Horse? Or is it just me?
I'm
Dark Horse.
not sure. But
Because they do all the Daft Adapters like Alien vs Predator and stuff like that.
yeah. But simply because, right, back in the 90s when the first game came out, when Tomb Raider 1 came out, it was like a big revelation. I think you had like your Indiana Jones and your shit like that, basically like, we are men, we are made to go and raid tombs and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And you had this timid little, like, girl, basically, is what she was, who would run around with two little pea shooters, fucking gunning down dogs and bats.
They're not that little, mate.
She's gunning around,
Yeah.
gunning down shit like that.
Especially with the new one as well, the new one looks...
Oh, the new one looks absolutely
I
brilliant.
like the fact that they've turned the character around now, because she became a parody of herself, if you're speaking about the games.
Yeah.
And it was like, after
Yeah,
Angel of Darkness,
now the storyline is, it's supposed to be set before like Tomb Raider 1 and
Yeah.
everything, where she's only like a real teenager. And obviously I've delved a lot into this because it's one of my favourite things. She's stranded basically on a desert island, and you're using all of her like survival instincts to basically survive.
I've seen the footage of them roping around back together, that's...
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's
Pulling the
amazing.
spark out of it. Anyway, favourite male.
Superhero?
Favourite male superhero. I'm not going to say superhero, I'm going to say a villain, and I'm going to say the Green Goblin.
Well, we'll do villains in a minute.
Follows that.
Alright, your favourite character is the Green Goblin.
My favourite character is the Green Goblin.
Which one?
The one first in the actual film.
Just Norman Osborn.
Harry or
Yeah.
Harry or Norman. And there's been more since then. I've
Yeah.
in different runs.
Just because, right, Willem Dafoe, when,
Yeah.
when he's playing the Green Goblin in the film, I just rate that he suits that persona so good. It's
Who
like...
can make that costume look awesome?
Yeah, I know. It's like there's one bit in it where he's like, I think it's a bit after he's launched the Doctor through the glass thing that he's in, after he's had his little spasm thing, and he's like, eyes rolling and stuff like that. and he just does like some proper like evil laugh, and it's like, oh my god, a little bit of poo just done all that. It's like completely bonkers and off the wall, but he just suits it so well.
Well, like I said, we'll go on, we'll do villains, so you can think for hero. Alright, man. You'll go?
Male hero, oh gosh, I was going to say Rorschach, but I don't want to be obvious.
Oh, say Rorschach.
Rorschach. Yeah.
I'll just say,
Very anti-hero, Rorschach.
Rorschach, who's based on Steve Ditko's Mr. A character.
Was it Mr. A on the question? I know.
I can't remember.
They're very Mr. A and Rorschach are very similar. Not Rorschach, Mr. A and the question. It's just Mr. A's extreme. He's the one who goes, there's only black and white, there's no grey area.
Yeah,
You're either good or you're bad.
very-
And that just shows how much of a douche Steve Ditko was.
Yeah, politically. He was, I like, he's just so kind of messed up and kind of there's no grey area, there's just black and white, there's only good and evil, and he's very hard character to kind of, I don't know what's the word, sympathise with or kind of relate to, but yeah.
Alan Moore made to relate to.
Made to relate to him, and it kind of, I think at the end, that's the most angriest I've ever been, is when Dr. Manhattan blows him up. And
On the other side of that is, you relating to Rorschach, I always relate to Night Owl, especially in the film, because everyone's like, oh, Rorschach's the best, I relate to him, he's mental and all that, or I relate to Mr. Manhattan, or I relate to Ozymandias, but I was always thinking, poor Night Owl.
Yeah.
He's just an ordinary guy and he gets fucked over by everyone. He might get the girl in the end, but still not a happy ending. He watches his best mate explode, can't save the day. And it's like, poor fucking Night Owl.
Yeah, but it was all Rorschach's thing at the beginning. He's the one who pursues that
If you
hero.
think about it, the film is actually more based around Rorschach, because...
No, but I'm saying I relate more to Night Owl than Rorschach. I'm not saying it should have been based around Night Owl.
Yeah, but it's like his Rorschach story.
Yeah.
But
the way the film set up, it's really using the different diary entries. I thought that was really good.
It's clever, that. But with Night Owl being like Rorschach's mate and stuff, there is quite a bit of stuff about Night Owl in it. But it's a good film.
I've always said with the film, and I've always seen it through Night Owl's eyes instead of Rorschach's, and obviously it's all from Rorschach. He's the character I sympathise with the most. He really is. Because I love Rorschach's fucking. It's just, his story is so much sadder than Rorschach's. I find it anyway. It's a completely different thing.
Oh, woman character. I was going to mention Silk Spectre again, but I don't want it because it's too obvious. But I do like the fact that she's kind of more of a realistic. Because the whole idea of Watchmen is like what the superheroes be like if they existed in real life. And she's kind of she's had a traumatic childhood. She's had all this pressure put on her by her mother, and I think that's more relatable. I think universally, and kind of she has all these scars about her parents arguing, and that's
one thing Moore can do, he can make three-dimensional characters. That's the one thing about DC I didn't like in the early days when I was reading it. I didn't see Batman as a three-dimensional character, I didn't see Bruce Wayne as a three-dimensional character. The only one in Batman I saw was the Joker. He was the only fully rounded one for me back then, as far as I was reading. Same with Superman. Today, I still can't relate to Superman. But Alan Moore can write characters so well, and it was the Killing Joke that got me into Batman. Because he handled that relationship between him and the Joker so well.
I can't think of it. I know there's a better one than Silk Spectre. I'll tell you later.
Alright, well, you can add it on. You can add it on. Alright, well, with me, favourite male character, they're both going to be excellent. Okay. But favourite male character?
Rogue.
A little chat about Rogue as well. Modern day Rogue is fucking awful. 90s to mid-2000s, she was great. Do you know why she's awful? Gambit. Her and Gambit, the relationship they built up in the 90s, it's about those two never being able to get together. And they tease each other, go, oh, they're getting together. No, they're not. Oh, they're getting together. And they've done it so much now, I don't care less. I don't care less if they get together. I don't care less if she loses her powers and becomes all happy because they just teased it too much. And I don't care. But Rogue in the 90s especially was one of the best characters. By a long time.
Right, yeah. Let's kind of. I like the idea of us being able to absorb other
Yes.
feel how they feel in their own sphere.
The late 90s are one of the best ones where all the powers came out at once, that she's absorbed, and she actually becomes the strongest thing ever. And she's got Wolverine's claws, Colossus's steel, Xavier's psychic abilities. It's insane. Fucking cracking storyline.
Yeah.
For me, alright, both X-Men. First one, male. Not obvious, it's not going to be
Wolverine.
No?
No.
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Cyclops. Because of any comic book character, in any fucking genre, he has got the most development. You look back in the 80s, well, in the 60s when he first came out, what was it? A fucking boring ass, plain hero character, you know, the schoolboy, the scout, as it was known, the fucking little scout going, oh, thank you Xavier, thank you so much. His development in the last 15 years has been amazing. He's gone from being a stupid, boring character to, in Grant Morrison, he started off, he had an affair, cheated on Jean, started killing people, not viciously, like not murdering, but was willing to kill people, to today where he's leading the last of the mutants, and he's basically becoming more and more like Magneto, and he's a fucking awesome character. You've seen him develop over fucking 10, 15 years, seeing him go from that stupid character to becoming my favourite one, because I agree with him. He's very Magneto-esque. He doesn't want to have genocide of the human race here, but he kills a lot of people to get his goals, and I agree with everything he does, even now, and the X-Men have broke down now in the comics, and he's just escaped from prison.
Yeah, because Xavier got killed off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never really killing Xavier. Although I will say one thing about the X-Men. One, other than probably Jason Todd, is it? It's the longest time a character's been dead. He's been dead, is it 12 years now?
I didn't know they brought him back in under the Red Hood.
Yeah, they brought him.
He's never really been dead. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, for the longest, I'm talking about longest in real time, because Jean died in 03. That's 9-10 years she's been dead, and she hasn't come back yet. I'm like, just keep fucking dead.
Yeah.
For female characters, I can't really decide between two. One is X-23. I'm not sure.
It's a female Wolverine, isn't it?
Female Wolverine. But his clone/daughter.
Yeah.
And the reason I like her is because she brought the change in Wolverine, because he'd been the same for 10 years. His character hadn't really changed since the 90s.
Yeah.
And when she came in, which she's all fucked up and messed up, she's just a messed up kid. That's all she is.
Yeah.
And she's a murderer. And Wolverine goes, and she ends up in a thing called X-Force, killing people. And that's when Wolverine starts changing. He goes, you know what, I can't save myself. He was always looking for redemption.
Yeah.
I can't save myself. Fuck it. I'll kill everyone for you so you don't end up like me. And that's why I love her so much, because she made the change in Wolverine. She made him interesting again. After years of being, oh, I must find redemption. Thought I'm an animal. Oh, I must find redemption. Now it's like, fuck it, I'm an animal, I'm going to kill him.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Wolverine. But with X-23, it's a story as well. It's one of the best comics. It's called Innocence Lost. And it's about how she grew up. She was obviously a test tube, fucking genetic clone.
Yeah.
And you, in graphic detail, it shows what happened to her, and you connect with her straight away, because you want to get out of there. It's fucking brilliant. And then my two, and another comic, anyone want a really fucking dark comic book, Magneto Testament? That's the book, if any of you have read it. It's about his time in the concentration camps, and it's 99% factual. The 1% is him. All placed around real events.
Yeah.
Fucking intense. It's not a book you read lightly.
Yeah.
It's an intense book. Alright, quickly around the room, we've got quite a bit. Go on. Villain. Any villain.
Any villain.
Of Smash with the hero.
Yeah, he goes with the hero.
Just to give him a bit. Tick, 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 tick.
Really, you're having a timer.
Don't worry about it, we've got plenty of time.
My favourite character is Carol Borden.
What, as a villain?
Yeah, she killed him, she killed us. She wanted that spot. Alright, favourite villain. Must have one.
Jack Skellington. That's a fucking comic book character.
And he's not a villain. He just misunderstood.
He's just a dude.
He just misunderstood.
That's one of the story robs the kids.
Hero.
Michael Jackson was misunderstood. Alright, well, you do the obvious one, the Joker. Everyone seems to like the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's there should be a rule now. No one picks the Joker.
Unless you can have...
Unless a good reason.
No, unless you pick a specific Joker, not just, I like the Joker.
I
Yeah.
like the Joker because he said why. So
I like the Joker because Heath Ledger cuts himself at night. Heath Ledger. Yes, I have a sheer disdain for that man. May you rest in peace.
Okay, right, now that we've had that talk and I've thought about it, I'd say Lex Luthor.
What? Me?
Am I really picking ones that you're not really fussed about?
I got no feelings towards Lex Luthor. 5 Superman films with him in was just enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they ever got him right though in the films.
No.
They're always kind of flat, and he's always after, was he trying to
The
do
land, it's all the land deal.
it's all the state.
He wants to land and to kill Superman.
Yeah, the first one was good, I enjoyed the first one, and it's like, nah, I can't be asked anymore.
No one problem with Superman. E4 or Channel 4, whatever you want to call them, spin-off series.
Small thing.
Yeah.
Which just sort of like blew it all out of context and made it.
Well, it's a different continuity. The one thing about DC you've got to remember is you've got the multiverse, and now you've got the clean slate continuity of the new 52.
Yeah.
The one thing about DC and Marvel is I can pick up an X-Men. Good to do, I know where I am.
Yeah.
With DC I pick up a fucking bat. Alright, is this in Earth 1, 2, 16,
Yeah.
fucking zombies, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about DC that always put me off, was just how insane the continuity was. And the wipe the slate clean of the new 52 was from fuck all to alleviate it.
Yeah.
Alright then.
Favourite male superhero? I would probably say...
You don't like the hero, that's the bad guy.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
No,
man.
favourite male superhero? It's gonna be Dr. Manhattan.
Ooh, that is actually, I never heard anyone say Dr. Manhattan's the favourite superhero.
It's gonna be Dr. Manhattan, just basically because, right, the shit that he was doing, and the poor bastard left his watch in a friggin' in a machine that basically fucked him up, and then he comes back to life as just like a bunch of muscles that are walking around, and that's got to be some like freaky shit. Imagine like wearing that on Halloween, you answer your door to a kid and he's like,
Yeah, what were you fucking wanking at? You got the comic book version.
no.
Hello kids! What's up, baby?
Well, that's for away today.
Oh,
No, it's just the way that it's like, it becomes so like messed up and everything.
disconnected. That's
Yeah,
one thing about him, he's so disconnected.
yeah. I like the way it's disconnected as well, in the fact that obviously this isn't the reason I like him, but in the film as well as in the comic book, the way that they can, like, they show that he can be doing like something else while he's like shagging what's her face.
Oh, the multiform.
Yeah, he's just so clever. He's so clever. And yeah, Dr. Manhattan.
Fair
Dr.
enough.
Manhattan, didn't we?
Right. Is it? Are we doing super villains? Because I'm lost a bit. Is it?
Yeah,
it
we're
was,
doing villains.
It was Lex
Let's
Luthor.
move for he did heroes because he did a villain for his favourite.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. The favourite villain, again, Watchmen again, Ozymandias, is he a villain?
Ozymandias?
Is he, because it's like, it's not clear whether he is actually a villain, the audience have to
Yeah,
decide.
it's ambiguous. We
Yeah.
think if you agree with him, I kind of do. But, yeah.
Which is it's again the idea of drawing on that black and white area, like, no one really is a villain in reality, you know, it's the choices that they make.
And different points of view.
Whether you can kind of, it's up to you whether you decide what they're doing is right or wrong, and it's all down to the audience to put their own context on it and stuff like that. That's why I like that character Ozymandias, is you can't tell, because he's a really, in the beginning he's really charming and really kind of intelligent, and he has all these things about him, and then he blows up New York and he's like, he's an evil genius, and then you're like, yeah, but could he have, would what he, like, what would it have been like if he hadn't done that?
Yeah.
It's just, but I didn't like him in the film. I didn't like the acting playing him in the film.
I enjoyed Ozymandias.
Because the thing is, he played it like a villain, and in the comics, you're not supposed to. Whereas the guy in the film, he was like some British guy, he's like, and he's like walking around like really suspicious, like, and you're like, who's the guy killing all the superheroes? It's that guy standing next to the big glowing guy.
I enjoyed him, but I like it wasn't as subtle, obviously. It's the ambiguity of him. It's like, yeah, it could be, but maybe he isn't. Maybe he's just a good guy. You know, it's that. I think he played him quite nicely, in my opinion. It's how he left it to you to decide. Same with the comic books. The one thing about the film is it leaves you to decide the film and the comic book. They both do it. All right, favourite supervillain. Try not to think of the next one, but it's probably going to be Magneto.
Team Rocket.
Oh, oh, fuck. I don't know, it's always been between Magneto and the Joker for me. Magneto because he's not really a villain, because you can see
what it is.
You can see why he's doing it. But if I had to put the Joker with Mark Hamill, any of the Mark Hamill interpretations of the Joker, because I like Jack Nicholson, whatever the fucking name is, and Heath Ledger was good, but the soundtrack of my fucking childhood was Mark Hamill laughing in the Batman cartoon. And you see, he did the Batman cartoons, then he did Batman Beyond, the film, and then fucking the Arkham games. Perfect. And he gets it as well, he gets the duality. He always said, if this is the Dark Knight Returns, the film, based off the comic, he can play the Joker. You see the state of it. He looks haggard. He played it perfectly. This fucking crippled old Joker, didn't he?
Actually, have you seen the animated version of Dark Knight Returns?
Part 1, yeah.
Yeah, they got the actor out of Lost to play the Joker.
I'm not really one for the DC animated universe, because some they use the old voice cast, like Kevin Conroy and all the ones from the old series, and then they're just bringing around...
it's like picking big names just for the sake of they have Robocop playing Batman.
It doesn't like see Batman Year 1.
Yeah.
The problem with that one is the Batman voice actor, it just sounds so bored.
He sounds like a D actor or something. He's like really young.
It's a really good film, but his monologue's dragging you like, fuck it, I'm more interested in what Commissioner Gordon's doing.
Yeah, actually Bryan Cranston plays Commissioner Gordon in the Batman Year 1 who's in Breaking Bad, which is, it's not based on a comic, I just thought it's a great series, everyone go watch it.
Well, as I was saying, with Joker, he gets the ambiguity of it, you know. I mean, the problem I have with Heath Ledger is, I've said it plenty of fucking times, he isn't insane.
No.
Because he's I'm a dog chasing a car, I wouldn't know what to do. But all the way through the film, he's plotting and planning. And in the comics, even though the Joker does plot and plan, he doesn't know where it's going to go. If I was a Joker, I'd walk up to you, didn't know if I'm going to stab you, I'll give you 100 quid. That's
I'll say 100 quid right now.
Fine, and fucking stab you. But it's that duality of it, it's with fucking Heath Ledger, you know he's just going to kill you. And maybe because that's Heath Ledger didn't read any of the comic books, or maybe it's Christopher Nolan's writing, because I still think Christopher Nolan didn't get that relationship for her. Because Batman has to create the Joker in a physical sense. That's why you won't kill him, because he created him. Not because I started dressing up and you started dressing up. That's how I created it.
That's how that went wrong.
That's what it was. But obviously he physically created the Joker, and that's his only mistake. And here's one. Who's read too many Batman comics?
Me.
Can you please tell me where the do not kill law came from? Because I never remembered it. I remembered stories like the Tower of Babel where he would kill you if he had to. Not this, I will never kill. I just don't get it.
I don't remember him. I think it's just the universe. I think in the first comic book, I remember him having a gun. And it was acceptable for Batman to kill someone. But then I think the Golden Age era of Batman started, and it became...
I just read the comics. I read Batman, and it's like, he will kill you if he has to. It's not that he'll just go around killing you randomly. But in a pinch he will. But when I watch the film, it's like, I will never kill him. It's like, fuck off. The Joker's just killed fucking what's the name? You'd go up to him and stab him. Simple as. Well, like Wolverine, solve it with his claws. It's a lot more realistic. If I had claws, problems would get solved a lot quicker. It's that do not kill or killed the films for me. It's like, if it's like, with what was it, the Justice League, the Doom film they did.
But actually, that raises the question, if Batman kills someone, then the cops would be after him.
The cops are after him already.
But before that you kill Harvey Dent, which he doesn't do. I mean, like they'd be after him more, because then you'd be you go from vigilante to murder.
You think that would really change his rap sheet? 1,000 cases of assault. breaking and entering, all that rap sheet, I'd add one murder to it.
Yeah.
You see in the comic, more in the comic books as well, because you see it in the comic books in the other adaptions that he's not killing. And I remember, as I was saying, Tower of Babel, it's how he kills each of the Justice League, or how he would if they got out of hand.
Yeah.
And in the animated film they did of it, it was all my protocols were non-lethal. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You were going to shoot Superman with a kryptonite bullet. That's murder. But yeah, Batman's a weird character. Because really all he is David Cameron dressing up at night and beating up some Trump. If you bring it down to its basis, And what's Superman?
Wow.
Fascist.
Fascism.
Yeah. What's Wolverine? He's the dude you see in a bar on a Friday night.
Oh yeah. Leave me alone.
Alright then. We'll end with, let's say, give us a couple of stories for everyone to read. No? And then I'll tell the Kevin Smith story.
Beautiful German.
Oh, it's great.
Yes, yeah.
I hope it's the same one you're thinking about.
I'd have to say, if you've not read it, read Death Note anime series. You can get it online.
Oh, he's advocating fucking illegal reading now.
No, it's not illegal. It's actually, if you just go inside and read Death Note comic now, it's like the first hit, and you can read it online. Another one I've got to say, Watchmen. Read that. If you've watched the film and not read the comic, then you're not a human. You've got to watch the film and read the comic.
And a little plug, Alan Moore, well, Zack Snyder owes me some money for this. Release next week is the Blu-ray and the graphic novel together in a box set, so buy it.
Sweet.
Okay, you've read a couple, what are yours? Top reads.
I'd say they read zombie comics.
Zombie comics.
Yeah.
You need to read the Marvel Zombies there, right?
Yeah. Just like read. Don't be picky about what style of zombies and that. Just read a zombie comic. They've all got the different styles and genres, so it doesn't matter if it's like, oh, I'll read this one because this one's better than this one. It's like they're all amazing. So it's about zombies, rotting, dead people come back to life, eating on other people. What can be picky?
Alright then.
There's also, there's talk about zombie comics, there's also Walking Dead. Which
Yeah.
no one's mentioned.
I mentioned it before.
Alright, yeah, but the series is also good, but even though it doesn't stay with the exactly as the comic series.
It does a bit, but then it kind of like wanders off. It's like, well, why?
Yeah, it kind of drags as well.
It's like stick to the comic.
Yeah.
Alright then, go on, favourite ones. Let's get on zombies.
Well, since you mentioned someone mentioned Alan Moore and Watchmen, I'd say Frackit Miller.
No, we don't have.
Alright, we can do this on the move. Let's go. Alright, as you were saying, Rehan?
Yeah, I'd say Frank Miller, and I'd
Yes,
say
Frank
the
Miller.
obvious Batman.
How's no one mentioned Frank Miller yet?
That's because he's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't you big two weeks holy grail?
Remember that one he tried to do, Holy Terror Batman? That was funny.
Holy Terror, that's it. I call it Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And and read Batman Dark Knight and the year one, and also Daredevil. Is Daredevil.
What was it?
Born Again.
Born Again.
Fantastic. Just the story, just the idea behind Kingpin finding out what's his name,
Matt
Murdoch's real identity, and then breaking him from without actually approaching it. It's just a great concept. So definitely.
Alright, for me it would be Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke, both Batman, any of Grant Morrison's X-Men by a mile. What else? X-23 Innocence Lost, Magneto Testament, and I've thrown a different one. Oh, The Ultimates. You've read The Ultimates, that's a fucking cracking story. Alright, now, hopefully me and Rhiannon will tell this whole story about Tim Burton.
Oh yeah, you say hopefully it's the same one. You start off.
Alright, well, a few years ago, it's the Planet of the Apes story.
Yes.
Planet of the Apes story. Alright, so when Planet of the Apes was released, Kevin Smith went to see it with Jason Hughes. And a few years ago, he did a James Silent Bob comic book, and one of the panels was Abe Lincoln with an apex. And I saw it says, that was my panel. So he goes on a fucking, I don't know if it's a website or a magazine article, and he starts talking about it, and he goes, one of his lines was, "Where's my fucking royalties, Tim?" Just joking, and Tim Burton fires back, I mean fucking fires back. And he goes like that, "Well, what I can say is I've never seen any of Kevin Smith's work, I will never see any of it, and I don't read comic books." He fucking did Batman! It's fucking wrong. Alright, anyone got anything to add other than his shocked face there?
Nope.
Alright, we all done then?
Yep.
Alright, that's goodbye from me and frack off from him. So, frack off next week. Any ideas for topics? Or should we just come up with it on the fly?
Come on, fly.
Alright then, there we go.